I've been traveling in the Andes for 3 months with a group of young Europeans and Latin Americans. We're going from village to village, teaching young women filmmaking skills. The project is called Cinecita. We're in the Bolivian cloud forest high up in the mountains. We've come to a remote village called Murarata for our next workshop. We'll be here for a week. I'm interested to see how much the women in this village will learn in that short time. The workshop begins with the young women and the tutors getting to know one another. The ladies are a bit shy at first. For many, this is the first contact they've had with anyone from abroad.
Tengo esa curiosidad.
Mariela tells me she's looking forward to learning something at the workshop. She says she's the kind of person who is always interested in learning new things. To get acquainted, the young women conduct mock interviews with the tutors. Rosa wants to know how many brothers and sisters Janos has. At first, there are some communication problems. The project is funded by the European Union, but the tutors work on a voluntary basis. Misha says the experience has been invaluable. She backpacked around South America a few years ago, but she didn't like the feeling of being a tourist. Being involved in Cinecita, Misha says she still feels like a foreigner with her European looks and her accented Spanish, but her work makes it much easier to meet people.
Ist die Begegnung mit den Leuten viel leichter.
About 350 people live in Murarata. About half of them are Afro-Bolivians, descended from African slaves. The other villagers are from the Aymara, the local indigenous group. 18-year-old Mariela lives in this little house with her 8 brothers and sisters. Before the workshop sessions, she has to work in her grandmother's coca field. The people of Murarata are nearly all cocoa growers. The crop isn't illegal here, and the leaves are not used to make illegal drugs. Chewing coca leaves is common in Bolivia. The crop is also used to make traditional medicine. Mariela says it's hard work, and that she doesn't think this is ever going to change. It's the society we live in, she says, and these are the people we're familiar with. It's the life we've known since we were children. Gabriela says working the fields can even be a way of forgetting about one's problems. It gives you something else to think about, she says. The first day of the workshop begins with a game. Many of the young women already have 6 hours of work in the fields behind them, but they've got the afternoon off for the workshop. This is a women-only group, so they can concentrate better on what they're learning. Women here have few opportunities for professional development. For most, their first pregnancy comes early. Mariela says the teens know early pregnancy is a problem, so it doesn't come from a lack of awareness. But knowing that doesn't stop them from getting pregnant. The young ladies are now starting to get more confident. They're thirsty for knowledge and highly motivated. They've learned how to use camera and sound equipment, and now they're practicing their interviewing techniques on me. Every day, the young women and the workshop tutors get to know each other better, and they're learning about each other's cultures. That's a valuable experience, even for old hands like Janos. He says he thought the cultural differences would be more of a problem than they are. Of course, the girls' concerns are different, and the way they live is different. But in fact, they're not much different from 16-year-old girls in Germany. It's the first day of filming. Rosa, Gabriela, and Mariela are interviewing Mariela's grandmother. Their film is about Afro-Bolivian culture, and it teaches them a lot about themselves and the history of their village. Mariela tells me she has Afro-Bolivian roots, so that's why this topic is important to her personally. There are just a few hundred Afro-Bolivians in the country, and they make up less than 1% of the Bolivian population. Over the centuries, their culture has merged with the indigenous one, but they've still retained their own identity. Afro-Bolivians were given official status as a minority 2 years ago. Now they have their own representative in parliament. And that has helped Murarata's development. There's even internet access in the village now. It has running water and electricity. There are frequent power cuts, but with up to 11 children per family to feed, agricultural work in the coca fields is still the focus of the villagers' lives. But for the young women this week, their lives have a different focus. Rosa says it's been a completely new experience for her. People from outside have never come to the village before to give workshops. She's had a great time this week so far, and she says everyone is happy with the workshop because they can see that the tutors really love teaching them. Musicians from the village perform from Mariela's film. The music is called saya. It grew out of African music brought over by slaves, and it's now the best-known feature of Afro-Bolivian culture. As the workshop draws to a close, some of the girls say they want to become camera women or journalists. That's not unrealistic. One woman from Murarata already works in La Paz as a reporter. It seems it's not just the knowledge the young women have gained that's important. They also have more confidence in their own abilities and pride in what they've achieved. Misha says they can express themselves artistically, and that could be the start of a new development in their lives. It's not about sending them to film school for a year. That's not the aim. What we give them, she says, is a window on a different world. Janusz's group is viewing what they've filmed. This one is a documentary about the coca plant.
Estamos en la población de Murarata, que está ubicada en los yungas. Su agricultura en esta población es la hoja de coca
que nuestros papás hacían con paleta y chonta.
Para venderlo se lleva al mercado de coca que está ubicado en la ciudad de La Paz.
The young women present their films at the end of the week. The entire village comes to watch. Many appear in the films themselves. There's an expectant atmosphere. The teens are nervous. The villagers rarely, if ever, get to see a movie. Now they're about to watch one about their own village. Mariela says she's delighted because everything went according to plan. The teens say even if they never make another film, it doesn't matter. What's important is that now they know they can.